Welcome to the Daily Grind. I'm one half of the team. I'm Mark. Luke, what's up, man?
Not much, brother. I'm good. It's not freezing this morning, and
Man,
we got a dub. Like, doesn't get much better than that.
It's 50 degrees. It feels like summertime.
Boom.
Bring it on, baby. I miss
Bring
being
it
hot and
on.
sweaty. I miss sweating like crazy in the summer. I miss it. I would rather sweat like an asshole in the summer than be in this cold weather. I hate it so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
That's okay though. Like I said, 50 degrees though. All the snow's
Good.
gone. The rain has melted it. It feels amazing outside. I mean, as much as 50 degrees can feel amazing. I never wished for rain more than I did like this weekend. I'm like, because yesterday I was like, it hadn't rained yet. Like that was the idea. I was like, it's gonna rain. It's kids are going back to school, and it didn't rain all day. And I was like, I don't know, man.
You're like, fuck.
But they're not here. So they're not here.
They're not here.
It's me and my wife. She's went back to sleep. So
Yeah.
just me now. So shout out to us. Yeah. Grizzlies win one last night.
Woo.
We're going to talk about that on the show today. We got lots to talk about the game last night because that really is the only thing that happened. And thankfully we have no injury news to talk about. Actually, I take that back. Santi Adama did get hurt last night. He went out of the game. He left the game with a right knee contusion. So he had that left knee bone bruise for a while. Now it seems like he might have a right knee bone bruise for a while. I digress. We do have we will talk about the injury if and when the injury news comes to us. For right now, we're just going to talk about the game, the good things in life that happened with the Grizzlies. So let's get to it. Grizzlies win over the Raptors last night. Your thoughts on it, just overall?
Overall, I mean, I feel like somebody's got to listen to the show, man. Like everything we kind of talked about them needing to do sort of happened. It was really nice. You know, I think we only saw the Zaire GG combo for a very, very short amount of time. Very, very, very brief. And I think it was in the third, and then it got the hell out of there. It just, this team, they played the way they will need to play moving forward if they want to win games, you know?
Yeah, I mean the GG Zaire lineup, it got some run and a little bit of overlap in the first, but you saw early on they took Santi and Luke out very early. Like they only played like 7 minutes in the first quarter. Versus and they left in Vince and Jaren the whole quarter. But what this did is they allowed them to put in kind of GG and Zaire and spot minutes together, but you know, kind of overlap them with different players. They put Santi and Luke back in with the kind of more of the bench lineup. Let those guys get some run with some kind of more veteran players instead of just an all bench lineup that's just, you know, guys who are not good and or have no experience. So I thought that was good. You know, I thought that was something that they definitely adjusted on. I really was surprised, honestly, they did it that quickly, but that's something they really adjusted on, and it worked. You know, it worked. And again, I thought about this last night. I don't know how much of it is that it worked versus it was like the Raptors were not doing great things. They're playing awful defense. I think it was half and half. I really do think it was half and half. I think that lineup is much better in spots than the lineup we saw before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you said it, 2 adjustments, like even from the first half to the second half, like he saw who was working between Z, X, and Gilliard. Like he saw who was playing well and then didn't play the rest of them. Like he saw what he got. He saw that Giddy balled out, man. Like hats off to him. Like he had him a game. Like he saw in the first half what was working and then stuck with it in the second half for the most part. You know, like Kennard saw his minutes go up, and hats off to him too. Like just facilitating the hell out of the ball, like assist for days. You know, like I didn't think you know, maybe it's because he lost his voice, he was able to make adjustments, but TJ really did a good job of exactly that last night.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of, it says that 30, this had that 30 assists on 44 made baskets, which is pretty good. It's not as good as you'd like it, not as good as we've probably seen it in the past, but in the past we have someone like a guy named like John Morant, who's pretty good at dishing out assists. So With this team, I said that's pretty good. With this current lineup, 34 threes, which is much more attempted. They are 13 for 34 threes, which is much more in line with what you kind of want to see with this team. They can still a little high, to be honest with you, with the current construction. But Luke had 13 of those threes. Like he had almost, which is totally fine. If he's the guy taking 13, then have at it. Take 13.
Yes, please.
13. At one point, he was 5 for 10. He missed those last 3. But in the first half, I think he's realizing more and more that, like, look, you're one of the only dudes that can shoot the ball, that can make points. You got to let it fly. Even if he's a guy that really searches for a shot, there's a reason he's efficient, right? Like shoots, 40 whatever % from threes, because he finds shots that he knows are open and he can make, right? He doesn't take a lot of contested threes. And so you saw that kind of just hesitation with him of taking those type of threes, because he just doesn't. He knows it's not a good shot, right? Like I get that, but at this point, like, if you have a sliver of open space, you got to let it fly. In the last 2 games, he's been letting that happen, and so he comes out with 19 points, 7 assists too, by the way. Point Luke. So yeah, but back to 3-point shooters, 3-point shots. If he's taking almost half of those 34, I'm fine with that, right?
Yeah.
Because he takes 13, Jaren takes 5. Between that, 18 between the 2 of them, over half between the 2 of those guys. I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. But 34 is still right, is more where you want them to be, and not 42. What did they have the other night? And the first quarter was much different. It was opposite of what we saw against against the game previous, and where they had 15 of their first 20 shots were threes. This was, I think they had like 1 3 in the first 6 or 7 minutes, and all the rest were in the lane. It was much more reassuring to see that from them last night, because that's what they excel at, especially even with the current, like, even with the current construction of the roster. That is where they excel. That's the people out there. That's the personnel they have.
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting 20, 22 threes out of Kennard, Tripp, and Vince, and if you're getting like 2/3 of your threes out of just those guys, that's okay. That's ideal, and then you can have the rest of the dudes trying to string together 10 between the 6 of them, but if you can have, and Vince was 2 of 4, Vince had a good game last night, like, if you can rely on him and Tripp to be hitting their baskets and Kennard to let it fly, then that's a recipe for success for this team.
Yeah. How do you feel about Santi Aldama this year? He continues to seem like he wants to shoot a lot more threes than I think is necessary. But how do you feel about his overall play this year?
I think he's hurt. I don't think he's I think something. I mean, he missed the start of the season. I think he's missed so much time here and there. He struggled to find a rhythm. Like people are like, where's FIBA Santi? FIBA Santi had several months of cohesive, healthy basketball with the same dudes. Like I think, and it looked like he was getting frustrated with himself last night. I just think he's getting frustrated with his inability to stay on the floor this year, and it's caused him to not play consistently. I mean, we've seen him go off, we've seen those Santi games that we are expecting, that we know he can do. They're just not happening as consistently, and I think that's because he has had no rhythm this season. It's been gone.
Yeah, I won't say he's been a disappointment, but he has been disappointing. I mean, that there's no even when he's been on the court, in my eyes, I think he's been disappointing for disappointing for. Sorry, Daniel just left us a comment. So there was a Woj bomb happening. Terry Rozier to Miami. I'm not. I'll look at that. We'll look at that trade during the break, and I'll take.
I got ESPN on right now. I see nothing.
Anyway, Santi's been disappointing this year. Like, that's just like kind of the long and short of it. I think that a lot of things he did last year and did well. I don't think he does well this year. The Santi Jaren lineups have not been good. They've been pretty bad, in my opinion. He doesn't rebound the ball. Him and Jaren, neither one of them rebound the ball well. So when you throw them out there together, it makes it really tough it makes it really tough to get rebounding. I mean, at this point, you know, with the way he went out last night and them playing back on Wednesday, I don't assume he's going to play on Wednesday. That's just my assumption. The way it looked, the way he looked, the way it happened, and he went straight back to the locker room. There was no like, let me sit here for a minute and see if it feels better. He knew immediately that it didn't feel good. And so you'll probably see a X and Jaren lineup come Wednesday is my assumption.
Well, I mean, I think one thing too, he's realized that he's gonna. I don't want to say get bigger, but he wasn't supposed to be the number 2 big on the team like he has been forced to, you know. And it's like, I don't know. I think he's maybe finding that he's gonna have to put on some weight or something because he's getting banged up. You know, like he's playing okay, but he's getting out rebounded a lot. Like if he wants to continue playing like down in the post big, like play to his size, I think he's gonna have to get a little bit bigger.
Well, I think he's probably more suited to a big that flashes to the, you know, there's more of a shooting big.
Perimeter.
I think that's a perimeter big, but he can't make shots right now.
Yeah, right now a shot.
And so, you know, that's if he were making shots, then I don't think we're having this conversation really. And so, you know, I think that that is really more his in line with what he is as a basketball player in the NBA. But when you put him and Jaren, who Jaren is kind of the same guy, you know, like and on offense, I mean, you put them both out there and it's like, well, now we have a 5-out system with no bigs that want to rebound, that can rebound. It makes it very difficult to play them together. And it makes sense why their lineups are, net negative. And so that's just something that I've noticed. I mean, it's just, you know, I think we all need more from Santi to be able to stay in the court. Last night, hopefully there's nothing too serious with the injury. Hopefully it's just day to day. That's your best hope at this point. Because I do feel like he's probably will be day to day when we see the injury report come out later this evening for tomorrow's game. But speaking of other players, this was a really a team win. You know, 18 points from Vince Williams, 19 from Luke, 27 from Jaren, 10 from Santi, and then you have a smattering of points off the bench with David Roddy and Gigi. Speaking of Gigi, he looked good last night. I thought Gigi looked better than he has the last 2 games. He didn't look overwhelmed. I think that again, he's a guy that I think you try to find looks for, right? I mean, he wasn't asked to do too much. He was 3 for 5 from the field, 7 points, 1 for 3 from 3. He took shots when, you know, in kind of in the flow of the offense, wasn't forcing anything. On defense, he was above average. You know, he was better. He was better than he was the last couple of games. So,
well, I mean, and honestly, like nobody out hustled him either. Like that kid is not going to be out hustled. Like the dude is hauling ass out there, and like if he keeps doing that and not playing with Zaire, more please.
Yeah. Speaking of Zaire Williams, only 13 minutes, 6 points. I mean, Zaire was bad last night. I mean, I would say this was a solid team win, and he wasn't a part of that team. He did nothing, but he was so bad on defense. I mean, it was, you put him out there and they were just like blowing by him
every time,
man. And poor guy, they were just hunting him in that pick and roll, and I don't know, but Gigi Jackson ends up with 22 minutes and Zaire wins up with 13. Like you said. They found some guys that worked and they stuck with them. So it would not surprise me if you see that trajectory, that trend continue to happen with Gigi minutes kind of going up and Zaire's kind of going down because they're kind of the same position, kind of the same player. Zaire I mean, if they had more players, I'd say he's unplayable. Right now, they don't have any more players to play. And so I'd say whatever. When they get some 10-day guys in here, and if they're any good at all, I don't know, man. I think if Zaire's on this team after the trade deadline, I think it's a mistake. I really do.
Yep. I mean, he's not I'll save it for the next segment, but I got thoughts on it too. It seems like a lose-lose situation right now.
Yeah. Speaking of the next segment, let's go and take a quick break. We're already like 16 minutes in the show. Let's take a break. We'll come right back. We'll do our stats monster of last night. We'll talk a little bit more about Zaire. Luke's got sounds like an anti-stats monster for Zaire Williams. Teasing that for next segment. So we'll be right back.
Not just the level of individual talent that he plays, but it's also the level of his mind. We haven't gotten cross-court open shot this year. We haven't seen that pass a lot. Number one, you got to respect him going to the basket. There's a roller. I got to watch the roller. He has the mind to be able to say, I see all of that, but now I see this guy over here. I'm going to get him this open shot. How shifty he is to always be going forward. It's usually side to side.
Yeah.
His dribble moves are side to side, but going forward.
Right.
Which is very hard to defend. I just want to get you, as many times can I get you to do this? But for him, it's not here. It is here, which is with are his moves to get down the floor. It's awkward for a defender to try to catch a cadence. You dribble. So now what I do is now when you go put that ball down, I'm going for it. But with him, it's hard for my cadence. But what's my cadence for you? I don't know what it is.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Who do you need to step it up? Outside of David Jones, I think David Jones is David Jones.
I don't think you need him to step it up because he's been performing.
Yeah, like he's David Jones. Like outside of him, he's fine.
I think Quinterly needs to play better.
In what way? Like, I mean, he's facilitating the ball well. I mean, what do you like? I don't.
2 at 12 from the field's not cutting it.
It's not great. It's not great.
And I don't need a runner 3 from the top of the key with 3.5 seconds left.
Is Virginia the game where Jordan Brown is going to cook? Those dudes aren't looking to run the ball.
Cook what? Dude, I thought he was going to have a freaking night. He came out with that fresh cut, lined up, and then literally within the first 15 seconds, missed a wide open layup. And then picked up 2 fouls right away.
I feel real lied to because I thought we were getting a 20 and 10 guy.
Didn't think it did anything for you.
Well, I think
we all thought we were getting a 20 and 10 guy. And we are getting that in David Jones.
I'm not even getting 20 or 10 minutes out of the guy.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the show, The Daily Grind. We are here every single morning. Luke and I are with you at 9 a.m. If you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you go and do so. That's the time right now to take a minute, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the shows that we do right here on Bluff City Media. We have shows for everybody, as you guys show. Stick around through the break. You saw the promos for a few shows. So yeah, go subscribe. There's something for everybody. 901 FC soccer season is coming back. So our guy Lawrence will be coming back with shows for 901 soccer. Obviously there's lots of Tigers shows, or new Tigers live post-game show with Francis as well. So lots of things, good things happening here at Bluff City Media. Let's get back to the show. Our stats monster from last night. Actually, before we do stats monster, let's do Statty Sean.
Yeah, Statty Sean.
Twitter last night. Statty Sean from last night. Sean Coleman, our resident statistician for Bluff City Media, as well as all of Grizz Twitter. Jaren Jackson Jr., just the 4th NBA center with 25 points, 5 assists, 5 steals in a single game over the past 25 years. Jokic, Vucevic, and DeMarcus Cousins are the three that have the same stat line. So if you missed it last night, Jaren Jackson Jr. set a franchise record in steals in a quarter with 6 steals in the first quarter. So shout out to him. Shout out to Sean. 25 years, 4 dudes, including Jaren Jackson, the only one to do that stat line. Pretty damn impressive.
It's a weird group. It's a Boogie.
It is a weird group. I thought the same thing. I was like, Jokic, I would have put that in there. But like, if you asked me to name the other 3, I would never have guessed Cousins and Vucevic. Like, I just would never.
No
have
way.
That. Yeah.
Boogie. Like, man, I miss Boogie. Watching him play was ridiculous.
Shout out to him. Let's get back to our rundown here. Let's do our stats monster. You have some stuff. I'll let you go first. You have you tease some stuff to the break. It feels like it's going to be an anti-stats monster, but go for it.
It is, man. Well, I think we both won. I think we can both cash our checks. I just don't know if I want to win. Like Z was a whopping 1 plus minus. And that was, he took one shot or 1 of 3, and at this point, if you're not playing well, you're not improving your trade value. It's like, I just don't know. I don't know what is happening. I don't want him to be an anti-stats monster. It's like, if these are tryouts for anybody that any team might want, and I'll end on a good note. Zaire's doing a bad job. Jitty's doing a good job. I've heard rumors that teams are interested in Jitty, and if dude keeps playing like that, goddamn, he's playing well.
Yeah, Jitty ended up with 6 points, 5 blocks last night. Good on defense.
Very good on defense.
So, John Contra is a guy that could help a team. I think that is a good team, and can be an off the bench kind of guy for you. Very much like D'Anthony Melton was when he went to Philly. That's a guy that can help you. And so, if I had my money on people that I thought were going to get traded before the deadline for this Grizzlies team, it's those two you just named, Zaire and John Conchar, and probably and Xavier Tillman, just because of his contract, but not because what is his player like that. But my stats monster, I'm gonna go with Vince Williams. First ever double for the guy. 18 points, 10 rebounds, an assist, 2 steals, a block, 2 for 4 from 3, 7 for 11 from the field. Incredibly efficient. Still played his ass off on defense as well. And I mean, the kid is a role player in the making. He's not going to be a star, not going to be a superstar, but he's a guy that can start on your team, and he does all the things that nobody else wants to do. And if you're a good team, he's a guy that you can bring off the bench and you're like, man, this is a defensive stopper for the guys that you need. And so he continues to impress me every game.
He very well in like 6-7 years very well could be that guy that everybody's like, man, can you believe that guy's not made an all-star game yet? Like he could be that dude. I think I'm actually a little tease. I'm working on a little feature that I'm hoping to have done at least by the end of the week. He's already putting up all defensive numbers. He's not going to be voted to a team this year, but if you compare him to some of the guys that were second team last year, like his numbers this year are better than Dylan Brooks were last year. And it's like, it's just
no.
Daniel's just mad because he bet on him. It's
very common. Only 1 assist for the Flying V, which is a great nickname. Shout out Mighty Ducks.
Flying V. Yeah, I came up with that. Don't let him steal it.
He stole it. So
I put it in our text. Don't let him steal it.
Shout out Daniel for the Flying V nickname. Shout out Daniel.
God damn it.
Yeah, man. Like, he's a guy that I think, like you said, has already put up great numbers. And I am a very much a skeptical person. I think that I'm more of a very realistic person, right? Like, and even so a lot of just the reason why I was like with Gigi Jackson, like, let's just pump brakes, right? Like, I get it. Yeah. Just because I think I understand it. It's so difficult to be, it's so difficult to be a good NBA player because the game's just so hard, right? Like, and so I'm always skeptical or just very, cautious of guys who have good games and come out and have a couple weeks of good games or whatever, because you see it all the time where guys have good games and they just got to drop off. I mean, we've seen the Lance Stevenson era here. We've seen, you've seen Lance Sanity. You see it all the time. And with Vince Williams, I still continue to try to find myself being a little like, I don't know, man, like I'd love to see it for a longer. And I keep telling myself that right over and over. I'm like, well, man, it's been like 6 weeks. Like it feels safe to say he's going to last. Right. But
might be good.
that's probably the pessimist in me a little bit, or just the realist in me of like, man, I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be a point where he just drops off and it's like, yeah, that was fun while it lasted, but he's no longer good. But like I said before, he does a lot of things that he can control, right? The rebounding, the defense, those are things that you can do every night, just based on like effort and hustle and kind of just positioning and basketball IQ, all those things. Like, so the shots are not always going to fall and you're not always going to get open looks. But the other thing is you with good positioning and good basketball IQ, you can control that kind of stuff. And I think that is what kind of sets him apart of like, that's something that will be good all the time or should be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, and especially it's like we used to talk about, he's already got the stuff that you can't coach someone how to hustle harder, You know, he's got the stuff that you can't coach already in spades, like already has that shit like really well. And it's and if he has that already and already seems to know his role isn't going to go out there and jack up 18 threes, like already knows what he is. He comes into work, clocks in, and knows what he's there to do. Like makings of a dude that's going to be in the league for a long time.
Yeah. Totally agree. Let's take another quick break. We'll be right back with the last segment. We'll do our love-hate from last night, and we'll get out of here for the day. So we'll be right back.
I'm just big on being able to vocalize what someone's role is. I always thought my best coaches were the people that let me know exactly what you expect from me. Now, I might not like it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Right. But if you come to me man to man to say, this is how we think we're gonna play you, bang, 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 and hopefully everybody understand. I'm not saying that this has not been done with this team. I'm just saying from my experience, we all have egos when we get to this game. Right. All of us, to the last person on the bench, you got an ego, but all of us can't be the man. Yeah, you got to be able to say, okay, he's the man, but what do I do and what can I do to help us be good? And if it's vocalized to you, then you know exactly what. And if I'm out there doing it, and now I'm not getting the result from you, now we got to sit down and have another conversation. But as long as it is told to you, this is what we expect from you, this is how we want you to play, then I feel like, again, keeping this logo. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. All right, Christian.
Yes.
You are Penny Hardaway.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Today, you're going to play act. Okay? Gabe, because you're a Jordan Brown apologist, you're going to be Jordan Brown.
I'm a Jordan Brown apologist. Okay.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Y'all are sitting across the room from each other.
I said, don't tweet him hate. And he's like, you're an apologist. Like, good God. But either way, continue. We're in a room together.
Why did things break down?
Jordan, we brought you in this year to be the centerpiece of our offense. You came in out of shape. Let's call it what it is. Call a spade a spade. We play fast. Told you this when we were recruiting you. We play fast. One of the fastest paces in the country. You have to be able to get up and down the floor. You have failed at that.
Oh, well, I'm leaving. So it's fine.
Cool. Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind, a daily Memphis Grizzlies show right here on Bluff City Media. We do the show every morning at 9 a.m. Let's get to our Jurassic Park love-hate from the Raptors game last night. Real quick, because we're running out of time on this segment. What was your love? What did the one thing you loved last night from the game?
I loved, we were worried they were going to, we talked about this. Do not foul Jaren out. Don't do it on purpose. They listened, they listened, and he had what might have been one of his most efficient games of the season, I'd argue, other than wasn't that great from the line, but take that out, 50, 40, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 6 fucking steals. Like and then 4 fouls? He finished with 4 fouls. Get more, please. Loved that. And if that keeps happening, chef's kiss.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jitty's 5 blocks. That's what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Jitty's 5 blocks. That's impressive. Look, it's always impressive to see a guard we can get those kind of stats. I love that part of it. Again, so you just want to record it, book it, because I'm a known Jitty hater. So book it. I loved the 5 blocks from Jitty last night. What's your hate? What's on your hate column for the last night's game?
We shot like shit from the line. We've been shooting a lot better from there all season. 58.3 sucks. You get paid millions and millions of dollars, most of you. Yep. Not Gilliard. I mean, it's easy. I went out and made 3 this morning. Make the shot. Just practice your free throws. Practice them, please.
Practice the free throws is a good one. I look, and I don't want to bag on the guy, but I'm still gonna go with Zaires defense. It was just so bad. Yeah. It's abysmal. It was, borderline unplayable. The only reason he's playable last night is because there's literally no one else to play.
Santi got hurt.
Santi got hurt. And there isn't anybody else who can play. They played every single body that was available last night to play. Yep. So, which will continue to happen. And it just, I wanted to say where you want to try to hide him in places, but there's just really nowhere to hide him these days because he's out there with bench line. I don't know, man. I just think in a game where even the Raptors, who are, okay on the, there's some good, they're good players. Don't get me wrong. But they're not the Denver Nuggets or the Boston Celtics, No. And so even in a game where it was against two very middling teams, he still got torched. And I mean, torched. There wasn't even there was just straight line drives on that dude. And so,
he looked
tough
lost.
to watch. He looked
lost.
Your
player looking lost isn't good.
It's not good in a game where, again, like I said, against the opponent that nothing to take away from the Raptors, but they're just mediocre, that RJ Barrett's fine-ish, I guess. And Scotty Barnes is good. But yeah, not great.
If you're getting outplayed by a guy on a mediocre team that's a white guy named Grady Dick, it ain't looking good.
Nope.
Just saying.
It ain't good, bro. If Grady Dick gets by you to the rim, just hang it up.
Get the fuck out of here.
Just hang it up. Not great.
Not good.
Not great. Especially when you're a 6'9" athletic wing, or supposed to be.
Taller than that, right?
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's going to be it for our show today. We appreciate everybody joining in. We will be back tomorrow with our preview for the Miami game on Wednesday night. So make sure you tune into the show tomorrow. Make sure you tune into all the shows on Blow City Media. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget as well, after every single game, our post-game show with Daniel and Nate is happening as well. There's lots of good shows on the Bluff, Tigers Untapped, our new show, $2 Sports Show as well. Those guys will coming out and shoot new shows on Friday. So lots of shows to look forward to. If you don't like our show, that's totally fine. I get it. There's lots of other shows that you can tune in and enjoy. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget, that's very important. And we will see you guys tomorrow.